In today's age, if you venture down to a martial arts gym, the instructors aren't going to beat the hell out of you too bad. They certainly want to make sure that the students' training are durable and tough in order to weed the weak ones out and identify fighters that can represent them. At the end of the day, they run businesses, not charities. Saying that, they don't want to scare away customers. As a result, gyms are fairly inviting to those who want to train hard, push themselves to the limits, and have a good pain threshold. However, many old-school methods still thrive in certain cultures. So, strap in tight as we take a look at the top 5 most brutal and hard-to-watch martial arts training methods. In at number 5, we have Spetsnaz training. If there's anything we've learned through the internet, it's you shouldn't mess with a well-trained Russian. They have zero fears. They are the Terminators of the world. Robot in command, and some of the most patriotic warriors the world has to offer.
Hoorah!
If you remember Fedor's incredibly stoic look, the look that made his opponents feel as if he didn't care about the fight, well, it's probably because Fedor saw things training that made fights look fun. The Russian Special Forces, also known worldwide and to any Call of Duty player as the Spetsnaz, they are an elite military group operating out of a country run by an ex-spy, Vladimir Putin, a man who himself worked in the field and also joins Fedor on the stoic look scale of absolutely unsettling. The Spetsnaz need to be tough. They're the backbone of fear within the Russian army, so they train their pain tolerance by smashing cinder blocks on each other with a sledgehammer. It's like a good buy one get one free deal to them. One man gets a good workout, the other gets stronger pain tolerance. On top of this, they undergo additional pain management tasks, where they swim through pools lined with barbed wire and beaten with baseball bats, all adding to the mentality to ignore injuries in combat and strike back hard. Also, in case of capture, they wouldn't spill any information. This certainly doesn't sound like my idea of fun, so I'll stick to my dumbbells. At number 4, we have the ancient Japanese samurai techniques. Much of a samurai's legendary discipline derives from the obsession of Bushido. A chief concern of the Bushido code is that of duty to family, employer, and fellow warriors. The second concern was that of the preparation of death. They were instructed to live as though they expected to die the next minute, ensuring their present behavior left no room for regret. They are constantly training themselves for the rigors of war and service, which brings us to the training. Before the centuries of health clubs and gyms, samurais battled with the elements of nature in order to prove and better test their physical and mental endurance. This consisted of standing nude in deep snow, or sitting beneath freezing cold waterfalls. There's one word that comes to mind. Oh yeah, hypothermia. On top of this, many practiced going without food, water, or sleep to harden themselves against deprivation. On the other hand, heavy drinking was a favorite pastime to build endurance and increased vigor.
All right.
One more drink would be helpful.
I've got a feeling I'll be testing my endurance this weekend. Number 3, Muay Thai shin conditioning. Muay Thai fighters need to have strong shins in order to hit opponents, and they go to extremes to get these. The best way a Muay Thai fighter toughens their shins is to simply kick stuff. A popular target for them is that of the banana tree. Fun little fact, the first ever Muay Thai pads were developed from banana trees. Now before we continue, and you go home to try this, it should be mentioned that it's a brilliant way to end up in the hospital. Muay Thai fighters are trained from a young age, and the nerve damage to their shins over a long period of time desensitizes them to the pain. You've probably seen videos of people kicking metal poles in half, but it will permanently mess up your leg if you try this on your local streetlights. Not recommended. When Muay Thai kicks are perfected, they have great impact on opponents, as seen with the likes of Alistair Overeem. former Strikeforce heavyweight champion, Dream heavyweight champion, World Grand Prix champion, and one of only 2 fighters to hold world titles in both MMA and K1 kickboxing at the same time. A true showing of the capabilities of Muay Thai as an art and sport. Number 2, Tameshi Wari, or seen to many of us as just breaking stuff. Tameshi Wari, the act of breaking stuff, is something all people immediately recognize as karate. Perhaps most famous is the style of Kyokushin, full contact karate. It's the perfect way to impress even your half-blind granny, since it's such a visually impressive feat understood by most. It's perfect for demos, or even your friend's bachelor party. Well, unless you do it the real way. As everything in life, Tameshi Wari isn't all black and white. It's not just breaking or not breaking, it's also about how, what, and why you break stuff. And in general, there's 2 categories of the art. First of all is real Tameshi Wari. Unless you're a bit crazy, it's recommended to stay away from this. Popularized by the founder of Japanese Kyokushin karate, namely Matsutatsu Oyama. It involves a few safety measures and is more of a test of your willpower, physical strength, technique, and lunacy. Mental focus more than anything else. In fact, real Tameshi Wari is considered such an awesome feat that it's actually an official part of Kyokushin Kai tournaments, where participants are known to break practically every bone in existence during their unforgiving hunt for a gold medal. As unglamorous as it may sound, real Tameshi Wari practitioners are some of the most respected people that you'll meet in Kyokushin circles, as they are known to be superhuman, but don't expect to see any practitioners flying around like Hancock. Fake Tameshi Wari, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. A crowd pleaser, sure. This type of breaking is 100% pure entertainment and showing off. Truth be told, the pursuit of more and more spectacular ways of breaking stuff has created a whole industry centered around it. Easily breaking stuff in front of roaring crowds with baseball bats made of balsa wood, hollow blocks of concrete and ice, sugar glass, pre-cracked boards, and other dubious martial arts products as a result. The bigger the object is to break, and the more it shatters, the better it is. The most famous practitioners of this sport are often holders of several suspicious world records in various forms, yet often they prove to be better at special effects than actual martial arts. Fun little fact, the forbidden techniques in UFC of downward elbows is a direct consequence of these fake Tameshi Wari demonstrations. As the story goes, a member of the Nevada Athletic Commission, they regulate the rules of MMA, including the UFC, once witnessed a breaking demonstration where some karate guy used a downward elbow strike to shatter a seriously respectable amount of ice. The commission man was so convinced he'd just witnessed such a dangerous technique from that day forward, the act of dishing out downward elbow strikes became totally forbidden in MMA leagues like the UFC. Fun thing is, it still is. Now, to all the men watching this, prepare yourselves. And in at number 1, we have the Shaolin Iron Egg Training Method. Once upon a time, Shaolin monks were obviously concerned that opponents might kick them in the groin, so they decided to prepare. The idea with people who train the Iron Egg is that you're seeking to toughen up potentially vulnerable parts of your body, i.e. the groin.
What did you say?
Yeah, you heard that right. I can tell you now, there is no ancient secret or magic spell that allows Shaolin monks to be able to withstand brutal blows to the groin. They just practice doing this so often that they gained a tolerance. When they get bored of kicking each other in the junk, they graduated to a more advanced technique, which involves attaching large objects to the testicles and dragging them around. Let's look at this in a bit more detail. I think if John's son had done some more of that before he met Keith Hackney at UFC 4, things may have gone differently. God rest John's son's manhood. And that's the end of the top 5 most brutal MMA training techniques used around the globe. I'm sure there's many more we haven't touched on, so leave a comment if you want to see them. I'm going to leave you to let the Shaolin Iron Egg part sink in. Don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe if you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time, ladies and gents and ladies.